Hey guys, today I am going to do a New Year's Eve makeup tutorial for you. It's really strange because as I'm recording this, it's actually 2 days till Christmas, but as you're watching this, it's after Christmas. So I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you got to eat lots of food and spend lots of time with your friends and your family and just had a really, really lovely time of it. Now we're on to the next big thing, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Eve in Sydney is honestly probably the biggest day in the calendar. Bigger than Christmas, I would say, because obviously we have the fireworks over the harbour. We get to watch the fireworks off the harbour bridge and coming off the opera house, and it's just honestly one of the most spectacular things you'll ever see, and I'm so looking forward to it. So I'm going to be going to my friend's house. He has an annual party every year and I cannot wait. So I will definitely be getting glammed up for New Year's Eve this year. And for this tutorial I actually wanted to take inspiration from a makeup look that I already did and posted a picture of on my Instagram account, which you can see here, and this has actually become my most liked picture on Instagram, and so many of you asked for me to do a tutorial on the look. So that's what I'm going to do for this tutorial, but I'll possibly add a little bit of a sparkly kind of New Year's Eve element to it too. So the first thing I did was pop on a little bit of this is the Le Blanc de Chanel, I think that's what it's called. It's their brightening primer. I think it's a primer. Mine is in a travel bottle because Karima from Shameless Fripperies gave me a really generous sample of hers. So I've only used it a couple of times, and the first time I used it I didn't really think I liked it that much. I thought it kind of gave me a bit of a white cast, like a sunscreen-esque cast to my skin, but I used it when I took that picture and my skin looked amazing, if I do say so myself. So it obviously does, especially for photographs, it does make your skin look super luminous. Do you like my festive manicure? If you are curious, this is an OPI gel polish in the colour The Spy Who Loved Me. Alright, onto foundation, and I used a foundation that I used to love but haven't actually worn in a while, and it kind of reignited my love. Studio Fix by MAC, and this is in the colour NW15. I did use a darker colour for that photograph because I had false tan on. This is probably going to be a little bit dark for me, although I still have a little bit of a residue of tan, so we might be okay. I always like to do quite a light layer of that Studio Fix foundation just because I do find it is quite full-on coverage, and if I put on too much it doesn't last very well, it tends to melt off of me, but just a thin layer. We're going to move on to concealer now. I'm going to use my MAC Pro Longwear. I just can't seem to find my concealer brush. So this is the Pro Longwear concealer in NW20. I'll just use my finger to blot that in. And I'm just going to dab that across my chin. I still have a few really small breakouts that have pretty much healed but are still a little bit red, just right on my chin. And I'm also going to go into my Studio Finish palette and mix a little bit of the pale yellow and the pale pink colour and use this to give a little bit of highlight in that inside corner and down a little bit. So yeah, that just adds that extra kind of level of brightness right on the inside corner under there. And then I'm going to set my skin with my Mineralized Skin Finish in light and a small brush. This is a contour shadow by Royal and Langnickel. And just put that under the eyes first. I'm using a small brush because I don't want to pile on the powder everywhere, just really on the areas of my face that I get a bit of shine. To give myself a little bit of colour, not necessarily a bronzer, but just to warm up my skin, I'm going to take one of the MAC Studio Fix powders in C5. So you see that has a little bit more of a yellow undertone, a kind of a yellowy peach undertone than my skin does, and it's a bit darker. So it's just going to give a nice kind of golden warmth. And I'll apply that. I'll apply it pretty much in the same way that I would apply a bronzer, with a big fluffy brush, kind of around the periphery of my face into the hairline. And then for my contour, I'm going to take my NYX Taupe blush and the same little Royal and Langnickel brush I used for powder. And just really on the back of the cheekbone there. So I'm not bringing it too far onto the cheeks, just maybe 2 or 3 inches away from the ear. I'm going to do my cheek highlight. I used quite a strong highlight that day. I wanted really glowy skin. And I'm going to use the highlight from the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to use. And this is one of the Revlon Photo Ready eyeshadow palettes. It's the color 501 Metropolitan. It is so beautiful. Just really lovely wearable colors. They're kind of peachy gold, warm colors, and then a deep brown. You've got a sparkly gold. Stop focusing on me. And you also have this one here, which is very similar to MAC's Blue Brown. So you've got an interesting mix. This is actually a friend of mine. I have accidentally acquired it. I left a makeup bag at her house, and I think she just accidentally threw this in with it, but I couldn't resist trying it because the colors look so nice and I love it, and I'm gonna have to buy one myself. So I'm gonna take this color here, just on that same brush I used for the contour. I just gave it a quick wipe off, and I'm just gonna polish that onto the top of my cheekbones. I'm gonna pop some along my nose as well. I like to do stuff on the tip of my nose. I just think it makes my skin look even more glowy. Makes my nose look a bit longer, but you know, this is the price you pay. And between my eyebrows. And then for my blush color, I'm taking MAC's Dainty. Okay, onto the eyebrows. I'm just going to brush them up with a spoolie first, and then take my Anastasia Brow Wiz in Ash Blonde. And I want to kind of keep my brows a little bit more arched, which is kind of what I've been doing for the past week or so, and I'm enjoying how it looks. I like to change up my brow shape every now and then. So I'm going to start at the kind of starting point of my arch and draw that in first, a little bit higher than where my natural arch is. So I'm exaggerating that a little bit. And then I'm going to come down a bit sooner. So I'm just making that angle a little bit more kind of steep. See, it looks a bit crazy now, but once we fill in the rest, it won't. Just brush those hairs upwards. And then when I get right onto the inside bit here, I'm just kind of changing the direction of how I'm brushing in the hairs, or drawing in the hairs, and I'm just going to angle them this way, just to kind of make it look a little bit softer on that inside bit. And then I'm going to follow it up with some eyeshadow, and I'm going to go a bit darker than I have been and use a mixture of Mystery and Saddle eyeshadow by MAC. Next, for the eyeshadow, I'm going to go into that eyeshadow palette that I showed you earlier. And again, I'm going to start off with this lightest shade down here, and I'm going to pop that onto my brow bone. I'm going for shiny brow bone highlight. Can you see how shiny and lovely that is? I'm going to pop that right on this very inside corner, right up the whole kind of side of the bridge of my nose there. Next, I'm going to go into this more peach golden shade, which isn't quite as reflective, and I'm going to pop that on the lid about 3/4 of the way across. This is actually a super easy eye look, guys. I almost feel bad showing you this one, but then everyone loves easy eye makeup, don't they? So that just has a little bit more warmth in it than the first color, but I'm actually going to go back into that first color and just lightly buff that kind of more towards the lash line in the middle of the eye there, just to give a teeny bit more kind of reflection. And now I'm just going to take a damp pencil brush back into that first shade and just go crazy on that inside corner. I want it to be really highlighted in there, really bright. And then I'm just going to dust off the excess, or dust off any eyeshadow that's left on that 217 brush, and go into the color that kind of looks like blue brown, just off the excess. And I am just going to lightly dust this on the outside half. So I'm not even really doing a crease, I'm just putting it on the outside half. And then into the crease. So I haven't put any more product on the brush, it's still the first dip into the product. So I'm just going into the crease a little bit and pulling that up onto the brow bone, just to shade in that area. And I've gotten a little bit of fallout under my eyes, but it's quite dry down there, so it should be okay to just whip that away with a clean brush. And then again, I'm just dusting off that brush on the back of my hand, And I'm going to go into the very darkest colour now, that very, very dark brown. I'm not really sure why they give us so much of the dark brown because, to be honest, I'd say for most people that's the one that you would use the least, but whatever. And I'm just going to use the tip of my brush into that dark brown colour and then take the excess off on the back of my hand. I really don't want this to be a smoky or a dark eye, so just using minimal products. And I'm just going to go right into the crease on the outside corner just for that little bit of matte definition. Everything is very shiny on the eye right now, and I just think that matte just kind of stops the eyes from looking puffy. Gonna go back into that pencil brush that I used for the inside corner, give it a wipe off on my hand. We're using minimal brushes here, guys, for ease. And back into the palette and taking this color, I'm gonna run that along the lower lash line. And just before I do the flick, because I am going to be doing quite a big flick, I'm going to tightline my top waterline with my Eye of Horus pencil. And for the eyeliner, I'm going to use my trusty L'Oreal gel eyeliner and a MAC 210 fine liner brush. And I'm going to do some serious liner because that is how I personally love to wear my eye makeup. I'm a big, big eyeliner fan. Just pop on a light layer of mascara. I'm going to be doing lashes in a second though, so this isn't terribly important. Get those bottom lashes though. So the lashes are on. I went with the ivory lashes in the style Glam Up, and as you can see they're quite long and quite dramatic, but that's what I'm going for. Like, it is a dramatic makeup look. I mean, if you can't wear drag queen lashes at New Year's Eve, when can you wear them? And I think they give kind of a bit of a doe-eyed 60s kind of eye look. They're a little bit heavy, but they're not uncomfortable. So I'm just going to add, I forgot when I was doing the skin, I actually drew in freckles for that makeup look that I did on Instagram. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to use the same colors that I used for my brows, actually, a mixture of Saddle and Mystery and my 210 fine liner brush. I'm just literally going to dot them as randomly as I can. You're kind of better off doing it really quickly if you want it to be random and not worrying if, you know, some are big splodges or not, because some freckles are big splodges. I'm going to bring them the whole way across on the top of my cheekbones. And then I'm going to take the concealer brush and just use that to kind of go over the top and knock them back in a bit. For my lips, I'm going to take the powder that I used to set my foundation and just do a really light layer of that on my lips first to prep them. And then I'm going to line with MAC's Whirl lip pencil, and you know I'm going to overdraw my lips because that's how I like to draw my lips. You don't have to if you don't like that though. And then to fill in my lip colour, I'm going to use a new lipstick. This isn't the exact lipstick that I was wearing in the Instagram picture, but this is new and I really, really want to use it. It is Please Me by MAC. Look at it. It's such a lovely kind of medium pink, like a warm medium matte pink. In that Instagram picture, I was wearing about 4 different lip pencils that I had layered and layered and layered, so it's not exactly practical. So I thought this might be a little bit easier to recreate. Oh my god, what a pretty, oh, it's such a pretty color. And of course you could leave the look like that. I think it's such a pretty yet kind of done up enough look that it's a really beautiful party makeup look. But I'm going to add a little bit of glitter because it is for New Year's Eve. So first I'm going to take some of the MAC eyeliner mixing medium. Any kind of mixing medium or glitter glue will work, and I'm just using my eyeliner brush. I'm going to draw that from the outside corner underneath the eyeliner. So I'm just going to do the glitter right on this outside portion here. I don't want it to be too glittery. And then for my glitter, I'm going to use the MAC 3D Gold, which I'll show you close up. So this is gold with a ton of other different colors kind of reflected through it. It's a lot of fun. And that is the finished look. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I am so delighted with how this makeup came out. I actually think I prefer it to the original version I did. I much prefer this lip colour. It's a little bit more flattering. And I love just that little bit of shimmer that the glitter gives it. It's subtle. I think it's grown-up glitter. Like, you can kind of get away with this even if you're not 15 years old. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. That really, really helps a lot and helps more people to see my tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe. I put out videos every Monday and Friday and tons of blog posts in between. I'll have the link to my blog in the description box. If you are going out for New Year's Eve, I hope you have an amazing night. I hope you stay safe. I hope you have lots and lots of fun with all your friends and family. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Bye!